Today we are going to be talking about the iPhone SE. The brand new announcement from Apple came a few days ago, and this is basically an iPhone 8 with iPhone 11 Pro internals, with the exception of the camera. Today, obviously, we have my guest, Trevor Regal, on the phone, or on the line, I guess, or on the camera. And we're just going to chat about the new iPhone, see what he's excited about, and because he's our Apple fanboy, if you will. So what do you think about the new announcement?
It was a good surprise. We saw some rumors coming up that Apple might refresh the iPhone SE model. The first iPhone SE came out in 2016, and so it's been a couple of years since we've seen a model like this. But overall, my initial thoughts are it's a really good budget phone for anybody who doesn't have a cash to get the iPhone 11 Pro, or even if you're just getting into smartphones, or if you have an Android phone and you want to switch over, but again, not drop a lot of cash. This iPhone SE is the way to go.
Yeah, I think a lot of parents are going to get this phone for their kids, or this phone is going to be a good phone for elderly people, or anything like that. I mean, just to look through the specs, you got a Apple A13 Bionic third generation neural engine. It is splash and water and dust resistant, rated at an IP67 certification. 12 megapixel wide camera, f1.8 aperture, dual zoom up to 5x, portrait mode with advanced bokeh and depth control, portrait lighting with 6 effects, that being natural studio, contour, stage mono, high key mono, and that's basically the same effects that you get on the regular iPhones, right?
Oh yeah. So with this processor, this A13 Bionic, that's actually the same processor in the iPhone 11 Pro. So instead of dropping $1,000 for this processor on the iPhone 11 Pro,
Yeah.
you can get it for $400
Yeah,
on this
which,
iPhone SE.
to be quite honest, for someone who's an Android person like myself, if I wanted to get into the realm of iPhone, this would probably be the best model to get into. I was just thinking about this, that like it's so accessible. There's been tweets out there that you can get a wireless charger, an Apple Watch, and the phone for like 700-800 bucks or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is insane. But yeah, it also has things like 4K video recording at 24 FPS, 30 FPS, 60 FPS, 1080p, of course, 720, high dynamic range for video up to 30 FPS as well. Front facing camera, 7 megapixel sensor on the front, with a 2.2 aperture, and all those the modes that you'd find. And also, what I thought was kind of interesting is that they're bringing back the Touch ID on the front. My personal thing with this phone is that how long can they reintroduce the same design on an iPhone? Because this design has been there forever. Like, the screen to body ratio is obviously not what you're going for. Obviously, you're trying to save money with the cost, because it's just a rebranded, retooled, more powerful iPhone 8, right?
Exactly. Apple has this big bin of parts that are left over from old iPhones. And with this iPhone SE, it just seems like they took some parts from, the iPhone 11 Pro, added the internals, and then just took everything that's good about, the iPhone 6, 7, 8, and put it all together.
Yeah. Do you know if you get wireless charging on this?
Yeah, you do. You
Oh,
do.
well, yeah. I know it's a glass back this time around instead of like a all aluminum back, as
Yep.
well. I mean, this is going to be a really anticipated smartphone for even regions like India and China, where you have these budget players that are really kind of have taken over those markets, and iPhone and Apple have been left back because of how expensive their devices are, in those regions, because they're even higher in those regions, even compared to the American price point that we have over here. So what do you kind of think about those regions?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's the budget iPhone of the year, and anybody who doesn't have a lot of cash but still wants to have a good smartphone.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's not the greatest smartphone that Apple has, but it will get you by. Obviously, it just released, so you know it's going to be good for at least the next couple of years. And I think people are going to love it.
what if they brought back the headphone jack on this phone?
I don't know. I've read some articles saying that people are still mad about that. That like it doesn't have a headphone jack. But I don't know. I mean, even the Android ones, like if you get a low enough price, they're still gonna have, they still throw in the headphone jack just because they know that's how they can get sales.
Well, with
So
the Pixel 3, I had the Pixel 3 and it did not have a headphone jack. However, they released a variant that came after that, which was the budget focus modeled, that being the Pixel 3a, and that came with a headphone jack.
yeah, and so I mean, obviously Apple wants you to spend more money with them, and so by not having a headphone jack, that makes you think about purchasing Bluetooth headphones. And what's the go-to Bluetooth headphones on the market right now? The
Yeah.
AirPods. So
Well, what do you have, the iPhone 10?
yeah, I have a 10s Max.
Okay. Did you get a pair of headphones in the box?
Yeah, they come with Lightning headphones. I'm guessing I haven't read up to see if the iPhone SE comes with Lightning headphones or not.
Yeah, I was just
Um,
looking at it, and I was
oh
surprised to
yeah,
see, but
looks like
the
they do.
iPhone SE does come with headphones in the box, which I didn't think they put those in the box anymore.
I don't think so with the iPhone 11 Pros. I think they dropped that.
Interesting. Do you think do I mean, obviously it's a nice addition to have those headphones, but do you think it's a must to have those in the box?
I mean, again, if you're buying this phone because you're on a budget, I mean, they're headphones to use, and they're not. I mean, they're not terrible. They're not the greatest again, but
I
I
mean,
think they will get you by for sure.
yeah, I mean for a lot of people, I asked them if they have headphones with a microphone on them to do the podcast, and to be quite honest, one of my last guests, Jessica Van Loo, she was just using like one of the Apple earbuds that had the same connector. I think they're the older ones because they were connected
Oh
to
yeah,
her laptop. But yeah, she just used those, and it worked perfectly fine. I mean, there was as good as it's gonna get over a Skype call, and for what
Mhm.
it's worth, and it coming in a box. But actually, now that I think about it, they probably weren't Apple branded headphones because she's actually an Android user. She's like the only female that I know that is an Android user, and it's so like awesome. I think it's crazy. But yeah, the iPhone SE will be available on 4/24, and they are taking pre-orders now. And this could actually be a really good deal for a lot of people. Say if you have an iPhone 6s Plus, I looked this up the other day for my aunt, and trying to like think about trying to get her a new phone, and the trade-in value for the 6s Plus was $100 if you trade it in. So that dropped the price down even more. So it'd be an
Yeah,
even more affordable price point. I don't know what the value is for the other phones, but yeah, this price point, it just knocked it out of the park. It's insane. So that like I commend Apple for that. The only thing is, I just wish they were a little more aggressive with their design on that. That's my only complaint. But you can't really complain for that because the price is so low. And I think it's
yeah,
crazy that people are like going nuts over this just because of the price. You would expect a company to have like lower version options like Samsung or Google does. That's kind of a standard. But when it comes to iPhone, they're such a premium brand that people are more than willing to accept those prices. And I imagine you're one of those people who's like, does it have an Apple logo? All right, bring it on. We'll take it.
yeah. With the design part you mentioned, with the first iPhone SE, they kind of took the iPhone 5 design
Yeah,
and had the same design as that, and then just put some internals in there. And so I'm thinking maybe with the third generation iPhone SE, we'll start to see the iPhone 10 design, a little bit more modern design than this, home button, big bezel look.
Do you think, say, there's a future SE down the line, and I don't know how long it was between the first SE and the second SE, how long it was that they took to manufacture it, but say 3 to 4 years down the road, do you think it has the iPhone 11 body, or do you think it has like the iPhone 10R body, or do you think it still keeps the iPhone 8 body?
That's a good question. I think so. The first iPhone SE was released in 2016, so it's been about 4 years. I think they will more than likely do like an iPhone 10R body, with like the LCD panel and maybe a little bit thicker bezels than
Yeah,
on like a regular iPhone 10. That's just my guess, though.
gotcha. Cool. Well, that's pretty much all I got for the iPhone SE. Anything else you want to add to this?
No, not too much. I'm studying Wi-Fi 6 in my class, and I saw that
Okay.
it comes with Wi-Fi 6. The next generation of Wi-Fi. So
So
I'm glad that.
what's difference? The I guess is it Wi-Fi 5 now, and then there's Wi-Fi 6 now, and what if that's the case? What's the difference? Is it very minor or what?
Yeah, it's pretty minor. Pretty much the biggest difference is if you're in concerts or like places with big, crowded areas where lots of people are connected to Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
It supports a lot more client devices, and
gotcha.
so with this iPhone SE, you're gonna get much more bandwidth. You're gonna see some better speeds, but more on the bandwidth side, you're just gonna get a lot more focused on your device.
Gotcha.
Um, there, yeah.
All right, Trevor. Well, thank you for coming on the show, and that was your full chat podcast for today, and that is a upcoming look at the new iPhone SE. Thank you very much for watching, like, and subscribe.